In the dust of forgotten highways, in the shadows of roadside diners, we're spinning yarn from strange America, where every tale's got a twist, and not all ghosts wear chains. Well, howdy, friends. It's been a while. I apologize I haven't told any stories lately. But when an old friend seems to have shown up, we need to address it. And that'll be a story for another time. And it is coming, friends. Don't you worry. But I have this story for you this evening. This one's called Strange from the Islands. I appreciate you, friends. Now, I reckon there are some stories that get told over a campfire to pass the time. Then there's the kind of talk that feels like it's got eyes on you from the brush. This here is one of those. Why? Long before the missionaries showed up with the black books, before the traders and before the whalers and the fellas with the ink-stained maps, these islands had their own kings, and some of them were wise men, and some were just plain mean. But then there was Kanaka, the chief who eats men. They say the earth didn't just birth him so much as it just spit him out. Born under a moon the color of a fresh wound, with the surf hammering the shore like a war drum, and the sharks circling the reef like they are waiting on a dinner invitation. His mother didn't survive the night, and his father, well, he walked in the jungle and simply ceased to be. Folks whispered the boy was marked, claimed by some older than the trees, and twice as cold. He grew up tall, wide, and hard, stronger than any man has a right to be. He could snap a war spear like a dry twig and drag a sea-going canoe across the sand like it was a piece of driftwood. But it wasn't his muscles that kept people awake at night. It was his appetite. A hunger not meant for this world. Nah, a chief is entitled to his tribute. That's just the way of the world. Fish, taro, fine cloth, whatever the people can scrape together. But Kanaka, he had a different kind of grocery list. He wanted men. Warriors, hunters, strangers who took the wrong turn into his valley. He'd take them, one by one, and they'd vanish into the shadows of his long house. Folks said he ate their hearts to keep their courage for himself, ate their eyes to see what they saw. Some reckoned he chewed on their very bones just to keep his own from turning to dust. Then again, maybe he didn't do it for power at all. Maybe he did it because of something inside him, something ancient and hollow, just kept demanding to be fed. And that kind of hunger, it doesn't ever get full. The night the drums quit. Now, one winter night, the drums in the valley just stopped. No chanting, no cook fires, just a heavy, suffocating stillness that settled over the jungle like a wet blanket. The people sat in the dark, holding their breath, waiting for a dawn that took its sweet time coming. And when the sun finally crested the ridge, that valley was a ghost town. No warriors, no servants, no chief. Just footprints, hundreds of them, steaming in the mud, leading straight into the high country. And at the end of that trail was a cave mouth as black and bottomless as a shark's throat. Nobody was brave enough or foolish enough to go inside. But they heard things. Oh, did they hear 'em. A growl that didn't come from any throat made of flesh and blood. The sound of bone giving way. Screams that got cut off short by the dark. And then silence. The kind of silence that makes your ears ring. The chief who never moved on. Now here's the part that'll put a shiver down your spine. Every few years, a man goes missing. A fisherman off the rocks, a hiker looking for a view, maybe a soldier on a night watch. Folks find their gear, maybe a set of tracks, but they never find the man. And those tracks, every single time, they point right toward that same black hole in the mountain. Some folks say Kaliakanaka never did die. Say he's still down there in the dark, nursing that old grudge and a rumbling belly. Hunger sure is a stubborn thing, after all. And on the nights when the moon turns red again, the locals swear they see a shadow moving along the ridgeline, tall, broad in the shoulders, walking slow, catching the scent of the wind like he's looking for something familiar. Maybe he's looking for his next meal, or maybe he's looking for the one thing he was born without, a soul. Now I ain't telling you this is gospel, but I ain't calling it a lie neither. Some stories stay alive because people like the thrill. Others stay alive because they're still out there, breathing the same air you are. So if you're ever out there wandering where the trail gets thin, and the wind dies down, and the birds suddenly decide they've got nowhere to be, well, friend, you might want to head for the truck, because there's something in those woods that remembers the taste of us. And it's been a long, long time since breakfast. Now, friends, for our second story, we head down to the U.S. territory of Puerto Rico with the Cave of the Crying Child. Now, some stories cling to a place the way moss clings to stone. Slow, steady, near impossible to scrape off. So up in the mountains of Seattle's Puerto Rico, there's one of those stories, the mother who never returned. So a long, long time ago, a woman brought her son into that cave, sat him down, told him she'd be right back, but she never came back. And the mountains, well, his cries, they say, soaked into the stone, into the air, and into the breath of that cave. Locals still claim to hear those cries echoing through the darkness. Voices from the island. Now here's a couple accounts from individuals that were around the cave, as per the record. Don Mateo, coffee farmer, aged 83. Said he'd heard it, and he called out. The crying stopped, like it was listening. The old man said he moved on from there, didn't want to disturb it, since he had heard the stories as a little boy about the cave. Here's another account from a hiker from Moravis. We saw him, a little kid, barefoot, running near the cave. We tried to get close, but he vanished. This matches the legend. Locals claim the child appears near the entrance, then disappears when approached. Now here's another account from Dona Isabel, a retired school teacher. My cousin sang a lullaby they say his mother used to sing. The crying got louder, closer. She ran. She never went back. And that's all she knew about it. And her cousin never would speak about it again. A statement from local law enforcement. Now the police in Puerto Rico don't officially investigate ghosts. They've got real-world trouble to handle, but they do issue a safety guidance when folks wander into dangerous terrain. A sergeant from the Cialis precinct, who asked not to be named, gave this statement for the record. Now, we don't confirm supernatural claims, but we do confirm people get lost up there. The terrain is steep, visibility drops fast, and cell service is unreliable. If you hear something that sounds like a child crying, do not go searching alone. Stay on marked paths, travel in groups, and notify someone of your route. Every year, we respond to hikers who get turned around near that cave. He added, legends aside, the danger is real. Treat that area with respect. This aligns with the broader mission of Puerto Rico's police to provide community safety guidance. My own time at the cave. Now here's my account. Take it as you will. I stood at that cave once, didn't go in. Ain't that reckless, but I listened, and I heard it, soft, lonely, a cry that didn't belong to any living child. Could have been the wind, could have been my imagination, but I've heard the wind, and I've heard sorrow, and this was sorrow. In conclusion, if you ever find yourself wandering through Cialis after sundown and you hear a child's cry floating through the trees, just tip your hat and keep on walking, because some caves seem to remember too damn much. Alaska, the legend of old Kodiak. Now, Kodiak Island ain't the kind of place you just visit. It's the kind of place that sizes you up first, like a big old bear, deciding whether you're worth the trouble. Folks down in the lower 48 talk about wilderness like it's some postcard. But Kodiak? Kodiak's a real deal. Wind that'll lean on you like a drunk uncle, rain that doesn't ask permission, and mountains that look like they're thinking deep thoughts, where the bears walk like kings. Back before the canneries and the Coast Guard station, before the roads and the radios, there was a fisher named Tovin. Quiet man, strong hands. Eyes like he'd seen something worth remembering. He lived in a shack near the mouth of the Buskin River, where the salmon run thick and the fog rolls in like slow-moving ghosts. Now Tovin wasn't afraid of bears, not because he was brave, but because he respected them. And on Kodiak, respect goes a long way. The night, the fog wouldn't lift. One autumn evening, fog settled over the island. Not your usual mist. This was heavy. Thick enough you could lose your own shadow in it. The elders said it was the old fog. The one that only comes when the island's trying to tell you something. And Tovin felt it too. He heard the ocean go quiet. He heard the spruce trees stopping there whispering. He then heard something else. Slow footsteps, heavy, deliberate. And out of that fog stepped the biggest Kodiak bear he'd ever seen. Scar across its muzzle, eyes like embers. A creature that looked less like an animal, more like a chapter out of the island's memory. The bear that spoke without words. The bear didn't growl. Didn't charge, just stood there, breathing slow, watching Tovin like it was waiting for him to understand something. And Tovin, well, he did. He set down his rifle, he bowed his head, and he said, "All right, I'm listening." The bear turned, walked toward the shoreline, and vanished into the fog. But the message stuck with Tovin like a burr in a wool coat. The island wasn't warning him, it was choosing him. The storm that tested the island. A week later, a storm rolled in from the Pacific. Not a normal one. This thing was mean. Waves tall enough to make a grown man reconsider his life choices. Fish and fleet was still out, caught in the teeth of it. Well, Tovin grabbed his boat, small, stubborn, and barely seaworthy, and pushed off into the chaos. Folks said they saw something out there with him, a shape in the fog, large, moving alongside his boat like a guardian. He brought every fisherman home that night. What they say now. Kodiak locals still talk about Tovin. Some say he made a pact with the island. Others say the bear was a spirit, the old protector of Kodiak, checking to see if humans still remembered how to listen. And when the fog gets real thick, thicker than it ought to be, some folks swear they see a shape moving through it. Big, slow, patient. A reminder that Kodiak Island doesn't belong to people. We're just its guests. And some guests earn the island's respect. And Tovin, I know you're still out there. I want to say thank you for saving them boys. They couldn't have done it without you. And that's all I have for tonight, friends. I hope you enjoyed the stories as much as I enjoyed telling them. I know I haven't put out too many lately. It's rather hard when the piper keeps a-calling. That's the end of the road for now, friends. If the wind carries voices that ain't got mouths, and the river runs backwards just before dawn, don't ask why. Just know you've crossed over. We'll find you next time in the strange.